So today I'm going to be doing a first impressions for you. I'm relatively new to doing first impressions and reviews, so don't be too hard on me. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to do the best with what I can and make this video as informative as possible for you. So the product I'm going to be reviewing for you today is the Chi Chi Aphrodite Goddess of Love and Beauty eyeshadow collection. Now the palette looks like this. It's absolutely gorgeous. This just drew me in so much. Number one, because of the packaging. Chi Chi has rebranded their packaging and honestly I am absolutely in love. This palette really drew me in because I saw pictures online of what this looked like, and honestly I can say that I saw this photo and I was like, what is this? Where is it? I need to get it, because the colors in this, if you are a fan of warm tones, you are going to adore this palette. Well, I say that now, but I don't know how the blendability and all that sort of stuff is going to go, but we're going to test it out and let you know how it does go. So basically this is what the packaging looks like. It's actually quite big. I don't know if you can tell how big it is, but like this is one hand just to scale. So like I'm trying to hold it so I can get both hands on. It's quite a big palette. Like, let's just be honest, it's bigger than my head. So that if that isn't good value for money, I don't know what is. When I said that Chi Chi had repackaged their stuff, this is Chi Chi's old packaging. Yes, this is dirty, I know, I just use it all the time. This is one of my fave palettes ever from them. I literally use it all the time, practically almost every day. It's just my go-to palette, and I can tell you just from this palette that the blendability, the pigmentation and everything is absolutely incredible. So I'm hoping that from this, that this new palette, the Aphrodite, lives up to that. I don't know whether they'll be getting rid of this packaging altogether and repackaging everything into this packaging. I would like to think they would, just because this can get dirty really easily, as you can tell, and already the spice's name is coming off just because it's in this plastic packaging. I'm not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying the new packaging just looks more appealing. It just looks more of a greater quality. From what I know, Chi Chi is an Australian brand. Yes, myself, I do live in Australia. I know that you can buy it online. I'm not sure if it's Australia, New Zealand, or if it's just specifically Australia. I'm pretty sure there are only 2 stores in which you can buy Chi Chi in Australia, and I'm pretty sure that is Target and Maya. I haven't come around any other stores. I'm not sure if David Jones does it. I don't believe so, but don't quote me on that. So from what I know, it's just Target and Maya that do Chi Chi. So on the back of this palette it says, this collection of spicy, warm, rich and romantic shades was inspired by the Greek mythology legend of Aphrodite and will make you look and feel like a Greek goddess yourself. Let's hope so. The Aphrodite eyeshadow palette contains 54 velvety soft, highly pigmented eyeshadows that are easily blended to create individual looks. They may be worn sheer or dramatic, wet or dry to reflect your mood or desire. So we're going to test that out, because number 1, it says velvety soft. Number 2, it says highly pigmented. Number 3, it says easily blended. Number 4, it says sheer or dramatic. And number 5, it says wet or dry. So we're going to try and test all of those out today whilst creating a wearable eye look. The retail price of this palette is $49. Now you do get 54 shades, which is relatively good. I think I got this a little bit cheaper because it was Boxing Day and it was Boxing Day sales. So I think I got it at a discount, but normal retail price is $49. I think the price point of this palette is really good. $49 for 54 shadows to me is really, really, really good. There's a crap ton you can do with 54 shadows. You're not going to use 54 shadows for one eye look, no, but I think this palette would actually be an amazing palette if you're a makeup artist that was doing freelance. There's so much variety in something like this. Yes, the colors may be similar, but if you were going for a warm look, there is so much variety that you could not only do a warm look on a lighter skin tone, you could even do it on a darker skin tone, because there is so much variety in this palette. you will be paying around 9 to 10 cents per eyeshadow pan in this. So to be honest, I would not be complaining about that price at all. This is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. Oh my god, you can see all my setup. That's not what I wanted you to see. Can you see why this drew me in? It is honestly amazing. Look at all those eyeshadows. Now what I was saying with you can do eyeshadow like looks with this palette on various skin tones, that includes fair and dark skinned people, is because look at the variety and tones of these eyeshadows. Some of these eyeshadows, especially the more purpley undertone ones like down the bottom here, would be absolutely incredible on darker skin tones. This palette is probably going to become one of my most used and favorite palettes. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do some swatches. Now, my personal opinion, I don't think swatches are the best way to showcase an eyeshadow. I think swatches are good to get an idea of the colour, and that's about it. I think they're also a good representation of what the colour's going to look like on your skin tone as well. That's about it. The blendability and all that sort of stuff, like pigmentation as well, is going to be completely different when you're using a brush to when you're using your fingers to when you're actually blending out. You're not going to put eyeshadow on your eye just like straight like this like you are with a swatch. You're going to blend it out. You need to know how that product blends out with one dip into the palette, how much pigmentation that leaves on your eyelid. If you need to dip back in, how that then blends on top of the eyeshadow that you've already put on. This, like, I really don't think swatches are a great way, but I've got to do them anyway because I just kind of want to get into this palette, number one. And number two, I know a lot of people do like swatches. So what I'm going to do, oh, also, another thing I have actually just noticed, which kind of irritates me. This palette doesn't have any shade names on it. I literally just noticed that. Okay, so I've just looked online to see if there's any shade names anywhere, and there's not. So I know that's not the be all and end all again, but for some people that might be a little bit frustrating. So I have two brushes to choose from when doing brush swatches. Obviously I'm going to do finger swatch and then brush swatch. Now I did get this idea of Raw Beauty Christy on YouTube. She got it off of someone else, so it's just this like whole revolving idea. But I think it's a really good idea to showcase swatches. So I just wanted to put that out there and say that I'm not stealing anyone's idea. I am borrowing the idea to give you a good a representation of the palette and the pigmentation. These are two brushes I have to choose from. I personally like both. So this is the Zoeva 234 Luxe Smoky Shader. It is just a flat brush, but it is a lot more fluffy than this brush. This is a Ayesa by Kryolan concealer brush. Now I know a lot of people prefer the more denser brushes than the fluffier ones, so I think I'm going to go with the more dense brush. Now I'm going to be cleaning this off after every application, so I'm just going to be doing the swatches on my arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this colour up the top, and I'm going to be going that way along. So I will start by showing you what colour I'm putting down, and then it can just continue along from there. I'm not going to continuously show you what I'm doing because you know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into the swatches and then show you what they look like. Okay, so that was all the swatches. As you can see, the pigmentation of these shadows is absolutely amazing. I think the color range is really, really phenomenal. Some of the shades I did notice came out either a tiny bit of a different color, but saying that, sometimes again when you blend on the eye, the color can be a better representation of what is in the palette to what a finger swatch will show you. I do want to just make it known that there is a bit of staining, but I think if you're doing it on your eyes, you have concealer and you have powder on, there's not going to be a problem. I think it's going to come off fine, but I think it's just because I didn't put concealer and powder on my arm that's why I did that, and because I swatched 6 rows of eyeshadow. Now I am going to finally create a look with this beautiful thing. I don't know what that was. I'm a bit excited. I'm going to start by applying some concealer and powder to my eyes, and then I will be right back and we'll jump into the eyeshadow look. What I think I'm going to do first is lay down a transition shade. I think I'm going to do a mixture of this one here and this one here. I'm just using my Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease Brush. So I have had to dip back in a couple of times now because the colours aren't greatly pigmented. They're just blending out quite sheer, which isn't bad. I think it's good for a transition colour, but some people might find that a lack of pigmentation or the quality isn't good. I personally think it is good because it allows you to be able to build up the product. To be honest, I wouldn't want to go into it with an eyeshadow that you tap in once, you put it on and it's this block of colour. I would rather it do this so I can build it up and get it blended seamlessly so there's no like harsh lines. I'm kind of drawn to these like pinky purple colours, so these ones down the bottom. I think next I'm going to go in with this colour right here. And again, I'm just using the same brush and I'm just running this, oh, yeah, that's nice. I'm running this through the crease and on the outer corner. When the box says that they're velvety smooth, I'm not joking. They are so smooth and so buttery. It is actually amazing. Like, some eyeshadows I have tried, like you can tell when you've got an eyeshadow on your eye, like it just kind of feels a little bit heavy. Literally cannot feel a thing right now as of yet. I'm yet to try the shimmers and see how they feel on the eyelid, because I know some shimmers can feel quite heavy, but right now these actually feel amazing, and the blendability of these is incredible. Like, that is me going like that like a couple of times, and to be quite fair, that is not bad at all. Obviously I'm going to blend it out more, but for right now that is pretty damn good, and honestly they just feel amazing. Next I'm going to take this, oh no, not that one, that one, this darker pink shade. And again, I'm just going to run that through the crease, outer corner and inner corner. So now I'm going to take a mixture of this colour here and this colour here. What I'm doing with those is I'm just running that through the crease and the outer corner. This is more of like a purpley shade. I don't know if camera is picking that up as well as it should be. Another thing I am noticing is with that purpley colour, it's kind of sticking like right in my crease, like there's a line on each eye, and it's kind of frustrating me. I don't know whether that's my eye or like it doesn't want to blend from there. And I know you can see that. That could have been my mistake, like the base not being properly set, although I swear to God it was. So that's what we've got so far. Now I'm going to be taking my Zoeva 234 Luxe Smoky Shader, which is the brush I showed you before. And I'm just trying to decide what colour to put on. I'm really drawn to this purple colour right here, so I think I'm going to try that one and see how we go. Now I'm going to try it with the brush dry and see how we go, and then I'm going to try with the brush wet. So this is the brush dry, You can see it on camera just, but I can barely see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my BH Cosmetics Studio Pro makeup setting spray and I'm just going to spritz that on my brush. Okay, well, definitely a lot better. Holy crap. So when they say they can work wet or dry, yes they can, but this shadow in particular, I don't know if it's the same with all of the shadows. I'd say that usually all shimmery shades work better with a wet brush, but I know some that do work are still okay with a dry brush. So it could just be that to get a more vibrant colour you need a wet brush, to get a more subtle colour you need a dry brush. It's completely personal preference though. Okay. Oh my god, I can't get over that colour. Okay, strange thing, could be the setting spray. The eyeshadow's kind of disappeared from here. I think that's the setting spray. So this is the eyeshadow look we have for right now. It's not the best. The setting spray has made this go funny and I cannot freaking blend anything. So that is great. So that's not the shadows, that's the setting spray. So that was my fault. Apart from that, blendability is amazing. So I'm going to try and fix that and intensify that purple a little bit more, but I'm going to do my full base first and then I'm going to come back and let you know my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, so I've decided to redo my eyeshadow because I wasn't loving the way it was looking. It wasn't looking great and I hated the fact that I couldn't blend that bit where I'd sprayed the setting spray and then put it on. So I'm redoing it. It's kind of turning out more purpley than what it was before. The heck was that? So I've actually used all the exact same colours that I've used before. It's just pulling a lot more purple. So I'm just going back in with that shade here, which I used previously, and I'm just darkening up and smoking out the outer corner of both eyes. I might change my mind because it's so purple. I might go with like a pinky colour on the middle. I've got some water now because I just do not want to mess up my eyes with that setting spray. Like, look, I've used that setting spray before and it hasn't been a problem, but for some reason today it's a problem. So I've just wet the brush with water and I'm going to go in with this shade right here. That's definitely applying like how it applied when I use the setting spray, but I have a feeling I'm gonna be able to blend it out this time. Again, I'm not saying the setting spray is bad, I'm just saying it didn't work for me in this instance. Okay, these shimmers definitely look absolutely stunning when wet. So I want to see if the edges blend out with a wet shadow or if it was just that setting spray that didn't allow it to blend. Oh, I cannot get over how absolutely gorgeous that looks. I mean, I'm gonna need to intensify my bronzer, my contour and everything. Oh my god. So while it's drying, I don't want to touch it right now because I don't want to move it, smudge or anything like that. So I'm going to go on and intensify my bronzer and contour and I'm going to fill in my eyebrows and we'll be right back. So this is the completed makeup look. So now there's a few things that I want to discuss. So when wet, the eyeshadow worked a hell of a lot better, but when it dried, the colour sort of dissipated. So I'm thinking that it doesn't work that well with water for the colour to stay as rich as it was. And number two, I think my setting spray that I have isn't the best setting spray to use, as it didn't allow the colour to blend at all. It literally stuck to my eyes. I think a better setting spray to use would be either the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray or the MAC Fix Plus. I think those two would probably be your best bet, especially MAC Fix Plus, for applying that sort of wet or eyeshadow, shimmer eyeshadow. Unfortunately, yeah, it didn't work as well for me because what I have available to me to use just wasn't the best. So unfortunately, that was a bit frustrating. So the look hasn't like turned out exactly how I wanted it to. Like, it's meant to be like a cut crease. Like on camera, it all just looks one color. It just all looks pink. In person, this part here in my crease and outer corner is a lot more purple, and then the middle of my eyelid is a lot more pink than it is showing up on camera. So that's a little bit frustrating. Blendability of these eyeshadows, I do have to say, are absolutely amazing. They feel so velvety through your fingers, and like when blending out, like I noticed when I was blending out, like I didn't even have to like push hard, not that you should have to, or try, or like, do you know when you have an eyeshadow and it's like really chalky and you just have to keep blending and keep it? I didn't find that I had to do that at all. I found that I put the color on, I blended, and it was done. That was it. And that is what you want in an eyeshadow. You do not want to sit there for half an hour blending one color into your crease. So I think the blendability of these eyeshadows are really good. I also think the pigmentation of these eyeshadows is really good because I picked up the pink and purple mixture with my brush, and that's one color, and I went on and it was enough color to do my whole eye without me needing to dip back in, and that was with blending. So I think the pigmentation of these is absolutely amazing as well. I think if you're new to makeup, this is going to be an amazing palette for you because it has so many colors. Obviously it doesn't have the whole color range from like blues and all that sort of stuff, greens and yellows and whatnot, but if you're starting out with makeup and you want something that's affordable and you are really drawn to warm tones, I honestly think that this would be an amazing palette because it has such a variety of shimmers and mattes in it. So I honestly think it would just be an amazing palette. And honestly, 54 colors for $49 is incredible. But I overall think that this is an incredible palette, and I honestly think that you are getting your money's worth. There are so many different looks you can create with this. Like, I don't see how you could go wrong. Chi Chi, I think you've done an absolutely incredible job with this eyeshadow palette. Like, as I said, I am definitely going to be using this beauty again because it is honestly just phenomenal. I think that's all I've got to say, so thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. I'm going to be uploading on Sundays and Wednesdays, and all my social media links will be in the description box below. I am at Ambersauraa on both Twitter and Instagram, and Snapchat. Snapchat has another A at the end of aura, so if you'd like to go and follow me there, that would be very much appreciated. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!